Well, our next guest lives in Rochester and took her cooking skills to Gordon Ramsay's kitchen for the 10th season of Masterchef. How great is that? Her unique backstory and style earned her a spot in the top 9. Look at this.
Hello, Chef.
Right, I think a fillet of beef, and I don't think pressure cookers. Promise me the beef's not in there.
I promise you the beef is not in
What are the 2 pressure
there.
cookers on for?
So this one is going to cook some wild rice.
Wild rice, tough grain, very hard to open up.
I love it. It's totally Minnesota. So I want to put a little bit of my upbringing on the plate.
Beef, tell me, it's something you cook often at home?
No. My husband is Hindu, so my family does not eat beef.
Yes. Give it up for Shari Mukherjee, everybody. Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, let me just start. How intimidating is it to have him, Gordon Ramsay, about 2 feet away from you?
You know, at that point, it really wasn't intimidating at all. In the beginning, it's very intimidating. I mean, you see him on Hell's Kitchen, you kind of know what to expect, and it's scary.
Yeah.
It's probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. But at that point, I feel like we had been around each other
You
long
get relaxed
enough.
a little bit?
Yeah, you get relaxed, and you start to realize that I'm here to cook. So sometimes he'll be talking to you, and you're like, hold up, chef, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And you just kind of leave. Where in the beginning, I would never say, hold up, I gotta go.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure he probably respects that. It's like you have a job to do, just like he has a job to do.
Yeah.
So your background, this is interesting. So you started cooking 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband's from India, and the family was worried that he would just eat salad with you. So you had to learn quickly
I did.
Indian cuisine. How difficult was that?
It was hard because
Yeah.
I mean, I literally taught myself. I just started going on the internet and searching and trying recipes, you know, going to the Indian store, finding spices, practicing, making a lot of errors, throwing away a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But, you know, you learn from each mistake that you make. And so that's how I just taught myself.
I thought of you because my aunt, my uncle is 100% Italian, and my aunt is not. And the in-laws were very, very judgy when
Yeah.
my Aunt Pat started cooking true Italian food. So what was your husband's family a little skeptical at first of your cooking?
You know, his family, not so much.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably other people in the Indian community where they don't believe that I cook. So a lot of times we go to parties and I would bring stuff and they would, you know, tell my husband that he did a really great job. Or they would ask which restaurant we're getting this from. Are we driving to Minneapolis to get this? Because we can't find this in Rochester. So, I mean...
But that's a compliment, though, in a way. I mean, I'm looking at the positive. I'm looking at the positive.
It is.
Yeah. You grew up in Elgin, right?
In Millville, actually.
In Millville.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really small town.
That's how many is that?
Less than 200.
Oh,
I mean, there's
my-
like more cows than people.
Oh, well. So how did you, I've always wondered this with a show like MasterChef, how did you audition? Like, did you see it on a commercial? What was that process like?
So, really funny story. I was a terrible cook. My husband, 10 years ago, he sent in an application for me to be on Worst Cooks in America. And I still have the email. It's a true story.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously, I still have it. The producers kept calling, and I was like, no. I mean, they make those people look like fools.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
so when we bought our house, we put in our TV and turned it on, and it just so happened the first season of MasterChef was on. And I told him 10 years ago, like, that's the show I'm going to be on. And so I watched a few seasons and then got busy and kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And last year I happened to turn on TV and it was on and I just looked up casting. And so...
What did you have to do for casting? Do you have to talk to multiple producers? I would imagine how many times do you have to cook for somebody?
Not as many as you would think.
Okay.
And so in the beginning, you take a dish, and we went to some hotel here in Minneapolis. It was an open call, and Chef Ramsay had sent his culinary team for the first time ever in MasterChef. And they taste your food. You get 2 minutes to plate it. They taste it. You don't know really who you're talking to. There's producers walking around asking you questions. The best thing is to just be yourself.
Yeah.
I just went into it. If I move on, awesome. If I don't, that's okay too. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom. If I get on the show, I have to find daycare.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
which is difficult.
You gotta think of the reality. It's like, great,
Yeah.
I'm on the show, but I gotta get daycare.
Yeah.
It's the reality of the thing. Can you tell me, how did he like the rice, the Minnesota wild rice?
So they loved the rice so much that they told me it was the star of the dish, and it overpowered a filet, black truffles, and langoustines.
Wow.
The dish was a hit.
Well, there we go. Now, speaking of dishes, we're heading into the kitchen, and she's going to make a dish she made on the show when we come back after this. That's a compliment. I mean... We are back with Shari from season 10 of Masterchef right here on Fox. So, is there anything that he hates that you are kind of, you found out you should, like an ingredient that you should just not put in anything?
Not really an ingredient, but I learned that they hate yellow plates. Never plate your food on yellow. It looks unappetizing.
Really?
They hate it. Yeah.
Oh, look, we have yellow placemats, everybody. That's okay, we'll get rid of those right after the show. That's great. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, what was the most, because people come here and they're like, oh, the studio's smaller than it seems on TV. What shocked you the most through the entire process? What was the biggest surprise?
I think the biggest surprise for me was actually how much I really wanted to win.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't go into it ever thinking, I want to win this. I went into it day by day. I'm just going to take it as it comes. And yeah, it was a shock to me.
The competitiveness kicked in.
Yeah.
You're like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Well, what are we making today?
So today I'm going to do kind of a modern take on a Caprese salad.
Love it.
I am going to fancy it up a little bit.
With white plates, everybody. White plates.
Yeah,
there we go.
White plates.
Yeah.
And I also will show you how to kind of plate it, appetizer style too. So I have some beautiful heirloom tomatoes because they're in season.
Okay.
And these are locally grown down from where I'm from. So I'm just going to cut up some. It's nice because they're different colors too, and they also have different tastes.
And I like that. It looks pretty on the plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Even on a yellow one.
You want everything to look pretty. That's the takeaway here. So,
how long were you actually in LA filming?
I was in LA, so I can't really tell you how long I was in LA.
Right. See, I tried. I'm just joking. No.
I am a pro at this.
I know. I'm sure you are. Yeah.
The filming started. It was basically all winter.
Basically all winter.
Yeah.
How were the accommodations? I always want to know, the hotel they put you up in. Is it nice?
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
I mean, when we're there, you don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I have to say that it really wasn't that bad. And you kind of miss it. I mean, coming back home, I have 2 young kids, and I miss kind of that freedom that, hey, I'm going to go to the bar at night, and I'm going to have a drink, and I'm going to take a bubble bath.
Yeah. And now you got the kids need a bath.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so right now I just put a couple of heirloom tomatoes here.
Okay.
And you can kind of switch up whatever colors you like. This is a basil in water solution, so I just ground the basil. I'm going to make a foam.
Okay.
So I'm going to teach you how to make a foam today.
I'm down with that.
Foams are trendy. So if you want to fancy up your food, make a foam.
Make a foam. I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm going to use some soy lecithin. I don't even know how to say that properly, but that's what I'm going to use.
Soy.
How do you pronounce that? I don't know. I should know this.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard word to say, but it's basically in every food that you eat.
Okay.
So,
soy lecithin powder.
There you go.
I think so.
So I'm just going to add this. And if you don't have this, because this is kind of a specialty ingredient you can't just pick up at your supermarket, you can easily use cream and mix a little bit of cream and just, with the water, and that will help foam it too.
I'll stand back.
So, good idea.
My luck this week, yeah.
So I'm just going to make a foam, and all I'm going to do is just blend this with the immersion blender.
Okay. And foam is hot, so that's the big thing this year.
Oh, foam is big. Gordon Ramsay does not like foams, actually. That's something he doesn't like.
Okay.
So he told me when I asked him, because when I had my audition, it's like the one moment I know I'm going to have with him, because I don't know if I'm going to get an apron or not.
Yeah.
I made sure to ask him if he liked a foam, because everyone kept telling me he hated foams, and I like to make foams.
Yeah.
So
and he said no.
He said the only foam he likes is his shaving cream.
Oh, well. And there we go. And then you have to just stay away from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm going to salt these.
A little kosher salt?
Yep, this is a little bit of kosher salt. You have to salt everything.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. And
I have learned that with cooking shows throughout. people don't salt enough.
No.
Yeah.
And the chefs really like their food salty.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take, because I think it's kind of prettier actually to just rip the mozzarella instead of like fancy, you know, like cut it. So,
Fancy it up.
Yeah. I just think it looks prettier actually.
Okay. And then after that, then
After the mozzarella, I'm going to add a little bit of the foam.
Okay. Oh, that's easy. Okay. I could do that.
So it gets, and it looks pretty too.
It does look like it's fancy, like I didn't do it. Yeah. It does add a little fanciness to it.
And the flavor is really there too. I mean, that's the big thing. Mm-hmm. Is that this foam is really light in texture, but you still have like a crazy amount of flavor.
Is that caviar?
So, good question.
Thank you.
This is balsamic caviar. I made this myself last night. It's super simple, really simple actually. Just balsamic vinegar mixed with agar-agar, which you can pick up in literally any of your grocery stores.
Okay.
And you just drop it into cold oil. And so they look like little bits of caviar.
That is crazy. They do. They're little perfect circles.
Yeah.
This is what, agar-agar?
Agar-agar. And this is something
That's another word I can't say with this. Yeah.
You know, as a mom, I'm always looking for ways to get my kids interested in eating good food.
Yeah.
And I find that doing little caviars like this is a really great way. Like, they just think it's so much fun to help me.
And especially when it's not a fish egg. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my 4-year-old, though, he loves basically everything fish, so he probably would love a fish egg, to be honest with you.
Well, that's because his mom's on Masterchef, for heaven's sake. I mean, that's what happens. So what do you, okay, so you got to go, but, so you can't tell us how it all ends.
No, I can't.
When will we find out? Do you know when?
You will find out, I believe the finale is airing the 18th of September.
Perfect.
So you'll just have to keep tuning in. They've switched it now. It's just on Wednesdays. It was twice a week. So now it's every Wednesday on Fox at 7 o'clock.
I have a feeling we're going to be having her back and rooting her on. That's right. An all-new episode of MasterChef airs tonight at 7 right here on Fox. Look at that. It's beautiful. And if you missed this segment, don't worry. We're going to put this whole thing on Facebook a little bit later, and full episodes are available on our YouTube channel. We will be right back to wrap things up right after this.